Welcome to GNN. I'm your anchor, Red Nebula, and here's what's happening in your part of the system. In a space poll yesterweek, citizens were asked how they felt about Overlord Roxnar Glofbar's total rule of the galaxy. 100% of pollers said yes. Notorious Vigilante Squad Cobra Strike Team has struck again, blowing up 3 Black Nexus fuel depots in the Zornicon system. No one was killed. With tensions rising between the Roxnarian Empire and the Glofbarian rebels, many citizens are being displaced. Orange Cross soldiers have been dispersed to help clean up the survivors. We hope for a quick and painless transition for all involved in the conflict. And now, we turn to Ace McKinley, direct descendant of the 25th President of the United Sovereign States of Earth, Willis McKinley. Off to you, Ace.
In recent news, I bring you with great sorrow. Blake Comet has been killed in a tragic Rockets League accident. He was closing in on the Blacklight Skull when, out of nowhere, a lone supercharged Rockets car burst through the stadium wall onto the field and charged straight into Comet's car. The impact to the rear booster caused a terrific explosion which ended the legendary short career of Blake Comet. In other news, we see racial debates about the team name of the TX01 Greenskins. While team owner claims that the name is in honor of heritage, others believe it to be a form of slander to the native TX01ians. And this just in. It appears that the lone assassin of Blake Comet has been identified as a Roxnarian official. Whether the assassination was a direct order from the capital, or if this is just an official who has gone totally rogue, we will find out in the yestermorrows to come.
Thanks, Ace. Compelling and sad stuff there. Now, with all your weather-worn news, Teve Johnny, take it away, Teve.
In weather war news, pseudo-electric ringer clouds of established group mind are now aligned with the Tamarians in their undeclared 11th psychic war on the Old Zealanders. Even immortal clairvoyant warriors can't foresee how that conflict will turn out. The future slores in Sol Vegas are putting 3.6 Brazilian to 1 odds on complete eradication of the OZs. On the brighter side, here's a photo snap of viewer Harriet Hubble, who turns 3,077 eon lives old yesterday. Wow, Red, she doesn't look a day over 30. In the Morrow Day, the blistering winds of Ribatco introduced Indian summer to the lower Atlantis region and excrement storms to the provincial Detroit area, as always. In the Omnifuge, volcanic turbulence is destined to rattle the Rocktober festivities in Washington, D.T.'s, but hopefully not before the Beatle clones get a chance to perform their big hit, Yesterday. Despite facing imminent incineration and or suffocation in smoldering soot, rock and roll will never die, excruciatingly in the Sarlacc pit. Back to you, Red.
Thanks, Teve. Let's cross our fingers for clear skies. To conclude the broadcast, Overlord Roxnar Glofbar, his puppies have just had puppies. Let's take a look at these puppies.
Death. That is all the Empire has to offer for all. By destroying the Black Nexus fuel depots, we are able to slow the Empire's spread across the universe. You know our demands, Overlord Roxnar Glofbar. You have one yesteryear.
And that's what's happening in your part of the system. As always, I am Red Nebula, keeping you informed and uneducated. Have a wonderful forever.
Hey everybody, I'm Chef Todd, and welcome to Under the Apple Tree. where I grow, build, and of course cook my way towards a handmade life. So hang out for a bit and I'll share some of the things that I've learned. About a year ago, Amy and I honeymooned in the mountains of North Carolina. We noticed every house or cabin had an outdoor swing of some kind or another and decided we just had to have one. Everyone has nice memories of a swing or two, so I figured this would be a nice project to share with you kind folks. So sit back, take some notes, and send me some pics or videos of your swings.
One of the yard projects that we wanted to complete this year was to make a tree swing to hang from one of the large trees. So we set about to construct one that will hold 2 people, a rustic swing that will not look out of place in our yard. For this project, you will need one 2x8. I used pine cut to 32 inches. One 2x4, again pine, and cut to 30 inches. The limb we are using is about 14 feet off the ground, so we have 30 feet of 250-pound test rope. 2 washers will protect the bottom of the swing from wear, and a handful of 2.5 to 3-inch screws. In addition, we will need polyurethane sealant or stain, rags for staining this swing, a mixing stick, and we'll be using a power drill, a circular saw, and a palm sander. Start by cutting your boards down to size. Remember to take the proper precautions and be safe. After choosing the top of the swing, center the 2x4 on the bottom and attach the boards with screws, taking care not to sink them too deep. No one wants to sit on a stray screw point. I then measured in 3.5 inches from the 3 edges and drilled my rope hole using a 1-inch spade. Start from the top. You are likely to have chipping where the bit comes through, and this will be out of sight on the bottom of the swing. You can really build the character of a piece by how you sand and finish it. As I said, this is intended to be a little rustic, so we won't oversand. I'm using a stain with polyurethane to give the swing some protection from the elements. I used 120 grit sandpaper to smooth everything out and prepare it for staining. Be sure to remove the dust with a damp cloth prior to staining. Apply the stain with a painting rag, following the grain of the wood as much as possible. Extra coats means extra protection, so I would do at least 3, rubbing with steel wool or clean rags between coats. Out at the tree, we have one end of the rope wrapped around a branch a few times and tied off securely. You will want to choose a branch that is at least 5 inches in diameter and look for green leaves. If you use a dead branch, it's sure to snap. I then ran the other end through the top of one hole, through the washers, and back up through the swing. Take care using these large ladders. Test stability, have other folks around, and don't take crazy chances. Up the tree we go to tie it off. Again, we wrap the rope around a few times and tie it off securely. I chose the quadruple knot and have no doubt it is safe. There are millions of videos on knot tying if you want to find one that you like. The way the rope passes under the swing, it allows you to move the board and center the swing. Just be sure the height is good before you tie it off, and check your clearance with the tree trunk and other possible obstructions.
See, nothing to it. Have fun and be safe on your swing. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Apple Tree Show, subscribe and comment at the Under the Apple Tree YouTube channel, and thanks again for hanging out and join me next time under the Apple Tree.
Hey, Brandon Palmer here with episode number 2 of Pigskin Pundits. We've got exciting NFL news and upsets for you, and Jacob's going to show you a 4-3 defense later after the news. All that, stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Jacob, and this is Pigskin Pundits News. This week in the NFL news, there's been a lot of trades going on. First of all, the Bears trying to clean house. They traded Allen to the Panthers for a 6th-round pick, and then Bostic to the Patriots also for a 6th-round pick. Last night, Chiefs wide receiver Jeremy Maclin ended the touchdown drought versus the Packers mid-third quarter with a touchdown. This week in the NFL, Julio Jones is leading the league in receiving yards with 440. Also leading the league in rushing yards is Adrian Peterson with 291. The biggest story of this week, though, is Big Ben's injury. He is out 4 to 6 weeks due to an MCL sprain and a bone bruise. It will thrust 13-year quarterback Michael Vick into the starting lineup. Also in injury news, Victor Cruz will make his starting debut versus the Bills in Week 4. Sean McCoy is unlikely to start Week 4 versus the Giants due to a lingering hamstring injury. That is all for the NFL news this week.
What's up, Brandon? Are you still working on that 3-4 defense?
No, I'm pretty sure I got the basics of the 3-4, but now I can't figure out the 4-3. I don't know where the players are supposed to go.
Here, let me help you out.
Not again.
Okay, the difference is obviously in the players up front, right? You have 4 linemen and 3 linebackers now, instead of 3 and 4 with the 3-4 defense.
Right, I got that from the name, but I thought more linebackers were better.
Well, it depends on what you want to do. In a 4-3, you're almost always going to have your 4 defensive linemen attacking the O-line. And the 3 linebackers can cover tight ends or running backs or whatever they're required to do, basically. And it's a lot easier to get good defensive linemen in a 4-3 because that's what most colleges use.
But what about the flexibility you have with the 3-4? Isn't that better?
It can be. The strength of a 4-3 is its simplicity. If you have really good defensive linemen, they can just line up and beat the guys in front of them to get to the quarterback without needing to do anything fancy. Adding in good linebackers, corners, and safeties can get you a pretty good defense fairly easily. And if you have a good defense, it can keep you in basically any game, if not give you the win.
So what's the difference between the different players?
Well, on the line, you have the 2 guys in the middle, your defensive tackles. Their job is basically to stop the run and squeeze the offensive line from the front here. Then you've got your 2 guys on the outside, the defensive ends. Their jobs are to rush around the edges here and try and sack the quarterback or stop the run if it's a run to the outside. All 4 of them are trying to sack the quarterback on any pass play, basically.
And the linebackers?
The middle linebacker, or Mike, is generally responsible for stopping the run, and if it's pass coverage, he'll drop back and help defend against the pass. He's basically the quarterback of the defense. He's responsible for getting the play call to all the rest of the defensive players. He's usually the one with the speaker in his helmet. Your weak side linebacker here, or the will, is generally responsible for covering a halfback, a running back, depending on what they're doing. So if the running back stays in to block, the will linebacker will come in to blitz. If they go out for a catch, the linebacker follows them, whatever. And then the strong side linebacker here, or Sam, will follow the tight end with whatever they're doing.
All right, Jacob, I got it. Give me that whiteboard.
That's it for this episode of Pigskin Pundits.
Thanks for watching. See you next week.
I get that out of my way so I can stand up.
You want me to restart everything?
Fancy that. We're doing our jobs. Are you serious?
That really hurt.
This is getting a real comedy show, people.
Mr. Teacher, sir, can we go last?
I cannot believe we did the wrong project. I have to get this done. I do not want to fail.
Don't worry, I can handle it. I got this, guys.
I can't wait to get this presentation over with. I want to go home and sleep.
What?
I'm not gonna have a sleep. Do anything.
I do not sound like that, thank you very much.
Yeah, next time you should pay more attention. And you could at least do something.
Okay, let's have the last group come up to present their presentation.
I'm freaking out.
It's okay. We can do this. I think. Let's just do it. Come on.
Okay, here's mine.
Okay. This is Fluffy. Notice it's definitely a horse because of the hooves and the pointy horse ear, and also the mane and the tail. That's very important. It has to have a mane and a tail to be a horse. Put your drum in.
There's mine. Happy?
Wow. Great job, everybody. Class dismissed.
Oh my gosh, I actually made it to class on time and I got my drawing!
Did that ever happen to you? Here are some tips that will help you become better at presentations. Tip number 1, make sure when you're working in groups, have each person in the group do something. Don't let anybody feel left out.
Tip number 2, always practice. Practicing in front of others is a good way, so you won't become nervous in front of everybody else. Try practicing with your friends or family before your presentation.
Tip number 3, be prepared. Always be prepared with your documents, and even if you're not going to be able to make it, make sure you do the work so that when you come in, you have everything ready to go.
Welcome to another Movies, Tech, and Entertainment Minute. My name is Kevin Kleifkin, and ladies and gentlemen, fall is here. This means leaves turning, comfy sweatshirts and sweaters coming out, and yet another Facebook privacy policy hoax. In November of 2012, you may have seen, or you may have copied and pasted one of these statuses into your timeline. In response to the new Facebook guidelines, I hereby declare that my copyright is attached to all of my personal details, illustrations, graphics, comics, paintings, photos, and videos, etc. as a result of the Burner Convention. For commercial use of the above written, my consent is needed at all times. Facebook is now an open capital entity. All members are recommended to publish a notice like this, or if you prefer, you may copy and paste this version. So actually the only thing that was changed in terms of Facebook's privacy policy and terms and conditions was the idea that Facebook users could comment on proposed document changes, whereas Facebook would not allow you to actually vote on the actual proposed changes. So you can make your voice heard, but you necessarily can't vote. There was absolutely nothing to do with stealing or borrowing any of your intellectual property, as Facebook calls it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dial back the clock to 2012 because guess what? Another Facebook privacy policy hoax is upon us yet again. The new popular status reads as follows. As of insert date here, I do not give Facebook or any entities associated with Facebook permission to use my pictures, information, or posts, both past and future. By this statement, I give notice to Facebook it is strictly forbidden to disclose, copy, distribute, or take any other action against me based on this profile and or its contents. The contents of this profile is private and confidential information. The violation of this privacy can be punishable by law, and then it lists a statute. One of these statutes is the Rome Statutes. Now, this time, here in 2015, not 2012, there haven't been any big privacy policy updates or terms and condition updates. In fact, if you go to the Terms of Service page from Facebook, they clearly define how they take and or use your statuses and your intellectual property. Well, let me clarify that actually. They clarify and state how they don't use your intellectual property. Again, if you go to facebook.com and check out their Terms of Service, it reads as follows. You own all of the content and information you post on Facebook, and you can control how it is shared through your privacy and application settings. In addition, Section A, for content that is covered by intellectual property rights, like photos and videos, also known as IP content, you specifically give us the following permissions subject to your privacy and application settings. You grant us a non-exclusive, transferable, sub-licensable, royalty-free, worldwide license to use any IP content that you post on or in connection with Facebook, also known as an IP license. This IP license ends when you delete your IP content or your account unless your content has been shared with others and they have not deleted it. When you delete IP content, it is deleted in a manner similar to emptying the recycle bin on a computer. However, you understand that removed content may persist in backup copies for a reasonable period of time, but will not be made available to others. Well, there you go. Facebook does not take, nor do they hang on to, any of those old silly photos of you back in high school making duck faces. I have seen about a dozen myself, and I have already started unfriending those that are stupid enough to post these statuses. This has been an MTE Minute. My name is Kevin Kleifkin. Make sure to follow me and the show on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe down below, and for any and everything TC Weekly related, head over to tcweekly.org. Thanks for watching.